Yeah, well, thanks for calling. And you're listening to TK Typical Town USA Radio here. We was just talking about my teaching days when I used to be a junior high school English teacher, and I had a lot of experiences teaching. I enjoyed it. You have to have the right temperament to teach. You really have to. Especially teenagers, man. You have to have the right, you can't see it on my video, and but I have a little bald spot here on the back of my head, and sometimes I'd be turning around and write stuff on the chalkboard, and some kid would say, "Hey, Mr. Kleinman, did you know you have a bald spot on your head?" Like, gee, really? Think you must know my brother or something. He's the only one that ever brings that up all the time. So, but one time I was getting ready to teach the Odyssey by Homer for us educated literati that know about that stuff, and my first class was coming in. This was one of my early days of teaching, and I was writing names on the board, and I'll never forget this. It was probably one of the funniest, if not the funniest, experience I ever had teaching. And I was writing names on the blackboard, and I was writing Menelaus and Agamemnon and Achilles and Clytemnestra and Penelope and Priam and Hector and all these names, and I wrote them all over the board, and I was ready, and I was standing behind my podium, and the bell rang, and my class started coming in, and actually this one little girl came in, and she sat down in the front row right in front of me, and she happened to get there about a minute or so before anyone else, and she looks at me, and she looks at the board, and she looks at me, and she looks at the board, and then all of a sudden her eyes lit up, and she got real happy, and she said, "Oh, Mr. Kleinman," she said, "I love this game. Are we going to unscramble these?" And I mean, that just cracked me up, man. Wish I had a sound effects for laughter. That was pretty funny. But that was one of my better days. And I laughed about that all day long. Are we going to unscramble these? That was wild. So anyway, let's see if we've got a caller on the line here and see what's up. Have a little fun here this morning.
Hey, TK, Elmo here. How you doing?
Hey, Elmo. How are you today, my good friend?
Yeah, it's Friday. I was thinking about going to
Yes,
the movies today. Is there anything good on? Seen any good movies lately, my friend? Have a good one.
All right. It is Friday, I guess. Movies come out on Friday, and I don't know. South Mississippi. I guess Hollywood just. Either that or that they just don't think too highly of us Mississippi folk, So we get all the animated movies and action movies, if there's a lot of blow 'em up and shoot 'em up, and let's see what I've got. I'm looking at the paper here. 1,000 Words with Eddie Murphy. I haven't heard a thing about that. I don't know. Dr. Seuss's The Lorax and Ghost Rider. There's some good action in that. John Carter. Hey, special effects, right? Safe House with Denzel. If Denzel's in it, it's probably pretty good. The Artist is still showing down here, and I just haven't been able to bring myself to go see that. It's a silent movie, and it won Best Picture and all that, but for some reason, I just can't get motivated. I guess since Hollywood. I don't know, they really disappointed me a couple years ago. I mean, I don't go to that many movies, but I do go to a few. And a couple years back when Avatar came out, you remember that? And Avatar came out, and it's only, if I'm not mistaken, it's only the number one grossing money-making movie of all time. Not just of the year, but of all time. And it doesn't get Best Movie? Come on, are you kidding me? That was the year they were very political, I think, and they wanted to have, I don't remember the woman's name, but she won Best Director, and that was fine. I mean, I have no way of knowing, if she deserved it or not. I'm sure she did. And Best Director, okay, I could go along with that. But then when The Hurt Locker, the movie that she directed, got Best Picture over Avatar, I mean, come on, that didn't even make sense to me. So I still, ever since that time, I kind of watched the awards with a grain of salt. I just kind of like, okay, whatever. The last good movie that I've seen has actually been The Help, and that was based here in Jackson, Mississippi. And I understand the only reason we got to see it when it came out is because the author, I guess, was from Mississippi, and she insisted that she must have known what was going on. She said, well, my Mississippi folk will never get to see this movie unless I insist that it be released in Mississippi. If there's ever a movie that's got any class, like old folks like me, historically oriented, maybe a little bit intellectual, it's not going to get here. The King's Speech. What was that? A year or two ago. I've got a sister now. She lives out in Los Angeles. Her husband's a jazz musician, and she's up to date with all these movies and stuff. And I was texting her, and she said, "Have you seen The King's Speech?" And I was like, "What the hell is that? I've never even heard of it." And Mississippi's a little behind or a little backward on the movies. It finally did get here, and of course it was a wonderful movie. Years ago, I guess it's been about 10 years now, that movie Amistad came out about the slave ship, and the slaves overtook the ship, and I guess it was based on a true incident. And, that thing had been out for months, and my girlfriend and I wanted to go see it and kept calling the movie, "Hey, when are you going to get this movie?" Oh, they hadn't even heard of it, and I guess they thought that, Mississippi folk, we just weren't prepared to handle a movie like that, with slaves and all that. Maybe they thought race riots would break out or something, if they were. Us Mississippi folk down here, we just couldn't handle a movie like that. I went to the movies about 6 or 8 or 10 months ago, and maybe it was when I saw The Help, I don't remember, but they showed the previews to a movie called Anonymous. And I'm kind of a literature kind of guy, and this movie was about Shakespeare. And I guess the premise of the movie, from what I could get from the previews, was that maybe some member of the nobility was writing these plays, and that wasn't a thing for the nobility to do. So he went and found this guy named Shakespeare, and he said, "Here, we're going to say you wrote the plays." And it looked pretty good, the 16th century costume and all that kind of stuff. And that movie never did get here. It never showed down here in southern Mississippi because I guess we're just too dumb. I guess we wouldn't know what to do with a movie like that. So anyway, we get all the animated movies and the action movies. And there's 2 movie theater companies down here. One of them's in D'Iberville called the Grand Theater. And I never can remember the name of the other one. It's over in Gulfport, and Biloxi's kind of sandwiched in between. And they're different companies, mind you, right? But every time you check their movies, they're showing the exact same movies. So either Hollywood has certain release dates for Mississippi, or the 2 theaters are in cahoots and they just show the same. You'd think once in a while one of them would show a different movie than the other, but they're always the same, So I mean, it's crazy. But Elmo, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you based on what I'm seeing here. Maybe Safe House with Denzel. Denzel's usually a pretty safe bet, So I don't see anything. Oh, The Vow is on. I guess The Vow was that Nicholas Sparks based on a book, and that's probably good if you're in for a good love story, I guess. If I had to go to a movie today, I would probably go see The Vow. But that's just me. So. Anyway, I hope everybody has a good day today. It's Friday, movie day, so if you're going to a movie, I'm not a movie critic by any means, but that's what I would go see. I'd go see The Vow, even though it's been out for a while. So if you've already seen that, and maybe if you're out in L.A. or something, you've got a lot more options than we do here in Biloxi, Mississippi. Typical town, USA. TK signing off for now. I hope everybody has a good day, and adios, muchachos. And buenos dias.